here we are. 3-round mock draft. Fox controls the universe. What's going to happen for every team? I've just been made Supreme Protector of the Universe, even though we've always had the title. I think the Titans are either going to get offered a Godfather deal by the Giants, or I'm really solidifying into them going Cam Ward. Even though, the GM made some announcements about generational, it's smoke screen season. I think they don't think Will Levis is the future, even though I have a higher opinion about Levis than so many others. I love his rocket arm. I hate the protection they gave him, but he does make a lot of bad decisions. And you don't really want that, so I think they're going to re-roll it, go with Cam Ward here, but because they need help at every single spot on their defense, well, not defensive tackles, every single spot on their offense, I can see the Kings ransom and the Giants. They literally have 1 year left. They literally have it. So they might do a Godfather offer, but I think Cam Ward's gonna be my guy. All right, we will do a trading draft right here. We are gonna kind of go through it and do trades when we feel like they're necessary. So the Browns are up. The Browns desperately need a quarterback too. There's a lot of smoke screens going on, like, oh, we're not going to take a quarterback. We're going to trade away Myles Garrett. No, we're going to offer him more money than is even, traded in the cryptocurrency market on a daily basis. We'll offer him a gajillion dollars to still play with us. Whatever they do, I don't know what's going to happen there. Obviously, things will change. I think they go, and if I'm the Browns, they feel like a very analytical organization. They'll want to trade down. So at this position, there's 3 teams in this kind of region that would want to trade up, right? That need quarterback. I think the easiest solution, though, is trading up with the Giants. So we're going to go ahead and do that right there. Pick 3, Cleveland Brown. Pick 2. Let's do... They're not interested in trading for this pick. Okay. What's it going to take? Oh, there's no... Okay. I don't know what it's going to take to get there. But we're going to do a 3rd and a 4th rounder to go up 1 spot. This might be a little light. They might need next year's draft, but I'm not going to look up the trade chart organization. We're just going to imagine they trade it up. So Cleveland trades down a spot because they guarantee themselves, if Cam Ward goes 1, either Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter, both the blue chip prospects of this draft. So the Giants, lest they get snaked out, for Shedeur Sanders, they're going to take him. All right. Now, I know Giants fans have been against it, but that's the problem with having little ropes around the neck of your GM and head coach from your owner. You got one year. So there you go. Shedeur Sanders. You only get this job once, says the kid. But Cleveland on the clock. They're going to take Abdul Carter. That's an easy one. That's a chalk pick to them. The Patriots on the clock desperately need offensive line help, and I desperately want to give it to them and Will Campbell. The issue is Travis Hunter. Amazing receiver. I would say a slightly better CB, personally. So having the ability to have a guy opposite Segans and then also a guy that Drake May can feed the ball to is insane. And I feel like best talent available is just what you want to do when you're in the spot of needing so much help for New England. They'll probably be drafting high next year unless they can really have nail the draft in all season. The thing is, I'm probably wrong because they got $100 million plus in free agency to spend to secure a little bit of the offensive line in these positions. So we're just going to take best talent available. I'm going to try and speed it up. I'm sorry, because this is 3 rounds. It's going to take a while. So Jacksonville here at number 5, a lot of options. I personally love the Tet McMillan pick because now you can help out, get a balanced type receiving threat with Brian Thomas on one side, T-Law coming back, a lot of things. But having the double Mason in the interior, desperately need help on that defensive interior in Jacksonville too. Also great choice. Those are my favorite 2 guys on the board at the moment. So we're going to go Jacksonville, offensive coach now, offensive player. Give him another weapon. A Drake London-esque talent to help balance it out. All right. We now have, get my Patriots Carter. Oh, I'm sorry. The Patriots couldn't get Carter. We have the Raiders up. The Raiders obviously need Ashton, but I think all of you know how impactful this this class is, man, there are teams that draft for need and teams that draft best player available. You really kind of want them to merge on, like, you know, the tiers. But I do feel like there is a tier fall off here going down to the next players on the board. Not a big one, but I do feel like Mason Graham, if we're going to discount Ashton because of his position, is the last of the blue chippers. Now, if you're the Raiders and you need help, you know, many places, because if you're drafting this high, you do need a lot of help. I think now's not a bad time to trade down. The issue is, who wants to trade up for like Mason Graham or Ashton Genty? I don't think those are like the kind of positions that you see oftentimes happening. San Francisco seems like a crazy org that can do it. I think I'm just gonna that defensive line, Wilkins, Crosby, Graham, that just feels like too sexy. And I've made this pick for them before. People like roasted me. It feels too sexy not to do. Right? It really does. Because who you doubling? If you're doubling these people, guess what? We got more coming free of talented rushers. Maybe they re-sign Kuntz, that kind of stuff. All right, the Jets. The Jets. JETS, Jets. All right, Jets. Too early for another quarterback. Even though I've seen people have Jackson Dart going into the first. They really like Dylan Gabriel, huh? At PFF. Little undersized, not sure about his traits in the NFL. The Jets, man, could go to a nickel. Tyler Warren, man, I kind of like Tyler Warren. He'll help out with your run game and your pass game. New England took at 4 here was Travis Hunter. I really feel like I want to do like a Tyler Warren type pick here. Yeah, Will Johnson, dude. If Will Johnson's healthy, he's long. Like, you now have like 2 Sauce-esque players. Let's do Will. I think I want Will here, dude. Give me Will Johnson. You're losing one to free agency. You're gaining one in the draft. Woo! All right. The Panthers. D-line, DB is what it says they need. They could definitely go wide receiver here, getting a Luther Burden. Thielen's a little long in the tooth. You got your quarterback solved. Your offensive line's pretty good. Jatavian's still there. Yeah. A lot of spots. I'd probably go defense here. Little early for my taste on Malachi Starks. I think the move. I think I like Walter Nolan here to sit next to Brown next year. Oh, Emeka Egbuka. I love Emeka Egbuka. Emeka Ibuka's a guy I hope the Steelers get. I think I'm gonna go defense though. Help out your young quarterback more. Get yourself a superstar. Okay, maybe not a superstar. People saying high floor guy. I think he's got a high ceiling too. I really do. I really absolutely do. I love him. Okay? Warren would have been another great choice at that spot. You got a second-year tight end, though. I don't know if he's going to stay healthy, but that's kind of why I thought away from that. All right. The Saints. Wide receiver. I was just singing the praises of Warren helping on the pass and the run game. You could easily go Genty as like the waiting in the wings for Kamara. But maybe you don't want to do that since you still have a guy producing even at an advanced age for running back. I think this is Warren's spot to me, dude. I think this is Warren's spot. Here's who we got so far. Cam Ward, number 1. Shadur Sanders, number 2. Abdul Carter, 3. Travis Hunter to the Patriots, 4. Tet, 5 to the Jags. Mason Graham to the Raiders. Will Johnson to the Jets. Emeka Egbuka, Panthers. Saints, Warren. Okay. Chicago, you're on the board. I feel like this is a god draft for them. It's Will Campbell, right? Will Campbell, who's amazing at left tackle, and even though he doesn't have the 34-inch arms required of the position, which so many people seem to like just put out there as like it needs to happen, it's not true. Some of the greatest left tackles of all time did not have 34-inch arms, right? Joe Thomas being one of them, Hall of Famer. Like the examples go on and on. Even modern day players currently in the league doing well. Will Campbell's great. Let's run it. Let's run with Will Campbell, either left tackle, kicking. I don't know if you want Braxton or what, but like guard, he's amazing at too, or he should be amazing at too. Get your offensive line help for your dynamic playmakers on offense, quarterback, your wide receivers, Roman friends. San Francisco, I think now the cap went up quite a lot, so I don't know what they're gonna do with the receivers, but it seems like they got a lot of bodies. If Brandon Ayuk comes back healthy, Debo, Pearsall, Cowing, I mean, you got Kittle, CMC, you got a lot of weapons there. So I'm not going to go like wide receiver, even though I do feel like Debo is gone, as a lot of people think he's kind of like the obvious candidate to get traded here to save some cap. I kind of want to help out the offensive line most of all. Like, the games where San Francisco has Trent Williams healthy and where they don't, it's like night and day on offense. If you don't have that player to protect your quarterback, you're dead. I feel like San Francisco fans in chat are saying Barron because they're losing Ward. I like that choice. I like Jahdae Barron, incredibly great shifter, agility, change of direction for all the Madden people out there. Incredibly great at that job. Okay? Great zone cover guy. I still feel like I'm going offensive line. Give me the trenches. That's how I personally would like to build it. I don't know what Kyle's thinking, how they want to do it. John, we're on a first name basis. If Josh Simmons gets a clean bill of health, he's my dude. I don't know. Like, on the outside looking in, we have no idea what that looks like. So Dallas is up. Dallas is need a running back. This has been like this is Ashton Genty. Dallas just had their Hall of Fame level guard retire. I would 100% understand Tyler Booker going here. I like Tyler Booker. A powerful dude. Maybe better like a power scheme than a zone scheme. But like, Dallas fans got on me last time I drafted him for them. So we're going to go ahead and shift it into a playmaker. I'm a little bit lower on Matthew Golden than PFF is here. They also really like Luther Burden. Luther Burden is like kind of like just like we said about Jahdae Barron. Insane change of direction with the balls in his hand. Luther Burden, you just want like he's like a quicker kind of Debo-esque type of player, right? How many times do we compare players to Debo? How many times does it actually work? Doesn't feel like often. But big attitude, big problem for the defense. I kind of want to go Burden to solve their opposite of CeeDee Lamb problem, but I can say Dallas is better when they draft linemen. Let's go with Burden. Let's go with Burden here to Dallas. Booker's too rich for 12. I can see that point. All right, Dolphins. I don't know. I still think if you got a good guard, they're impactful, man. Larry Allen alone should teach you how much a strong, impactful guard matters. I'm not comparing Booker to Larry Allen. Don't get me wrong. I'm just as an example, right? All right, the Dolphins. Does Mike still think he can scheme around the bad offensive line? That's the question we got to ask ourselves. Like, how much is Tua's like, you got to get the ball out in 2 seconds because of the scheme and the RPOs they run, that cheese, versus like, hey, that'd be kind of cool if I could sit back here and make a read once in a while. I got to go protection here, man. I don't think Kelvin Banks is great for the scheme. I like Armand Membu. Armand Membu, not a huge dude, much more of a mover. 6'3", so like not traditional like 6'6" tackle. But I like the way this guy moves on the field, and I think he fits their scheme well. I gotta do it. I gotta do Armand Membu to the Dolphins. You just need talent at that position. Even though you have other problems, try and keep Tua upright a little bit more to keep his health. All right. The Colts. The Anthony Richardson experience is still happening. Your receivers, you got some decent players there. You're not going to draft Offensive line, okay. Defense needs help. They could use another edge after Latu. I kind of want to go someone like James Pierce. I mean, the other option is like going like Loveland at tight end. I don't know where oh, there he is. Loveland's all the way down here at 31 for PFF now. He was mocked much higher. But I think I want to get them. So if they go with like James Pierce, who there's a lot of internet rumors about him being a bad person, about being like one of the angriest people ever in high school. We haven't really seen a lot of that issues at Tennessee though, so maybe he's worked on it. Him or Mike Green, so you can have like a few different type of finesse pass rushes, because Latu is kind of a finesse guy. So if you go two guys similar to that, that's not a bad scheme start, right? Instead of having like jarring difference in the way that you play your defense on one side versus the other. Now maybe you can like obviously figure it out if you go more of a power player to play like a 5-tech, I don't know, like a Walter Nolan type. You can do that, like a bigger dude. Where it's Shamar. Shamar is insanely big. 6'6", 290 would be a perfect power edge. But I think they're going to kind of double down on like what they did last year and go Mike Green here with a more finesse guy. I would like that. I would go Walter Nolan to pair with DeForest. That's not a bad point. That's not a bad point at all. All right, Falcons are up. Falcons. I'm not going to go offense for him. It says they need a receiver. I'm okay with what they got. I know Pitts doesn't care about football at all. He's kind of a receiver. Mooney had a great year. Drake London's looking like a superstar. Help out your quarterback with another threat there? Nah. This has got to be an edge. I have people that are watching right now that have lived and died since Atlanta had a good edge rusher. 2014? Maybe not. But that'd be a very sad sad time indeed. I'm gonna go with edge. James Pierce. We're gonna bet on his talent. Should we keep Mike Elham? Maybe that's what I'll do. You know, draft the local. I like Shamar a little bit better, though. Cardinals, you're up. Protecting Kyler is a massive issue. You know, he scrambles around a decent amount. He can protect himself from time to time. They say you need defensive line. I could see that without a doubt. Everywhere in the Cardinals kind of needs help. I mean, you can say about any team, truly. Outside of a few ones. You know, Eagles, where you help that team, right? The super team. They need help at quarterback. Am I right? I've seen so many comments about the Eagles quarterback situation with like people just angry. Philadelphia fans. It's mostly Philadelphia fans dunking now. They're winning the Super Bowl with them. Cardinals. Let's see what's here and available. I feel like we just go best talent, man. I really do. Gray Zabel is probably the best for their scheme out there. As far as the offensive linemen. Wow, Darius Alexander is very high on the board right now. And you might, I don't know if he gets drafted that high. But let's go. I think let's do Walter Nolan. Let's help out the rush, man. Let's get to the quarterback, dude. Let's help out the defense since Arizona's been struggling there on the D-line. And the best thing you can do is help your trenches. Cincinnati, another defensive line starved, well, and offensive line, truly, even though they got a good Mims last year at right tackle. Wide receiver, I think I go wide receiver like a $40 million wide receiver and a $30 million wide receiver, or that's what they're projected to want. Cincinnati, I feel like I'm going to go with like Banks. I really do kind of want to help out Joe Burrow more, right? When you have a superstar, you want to kind of build that strength. Okay? Little rich for Zabel, so we're gonna go Banks here to probably play guard right away, even though I don't mind them at all. Dude, Donovan Jackson might even be a better chance for that, but might be a little rich. Let's see who's here. Malachi Starks, Jahdae Barron. Malachi Starks to bring back the safety position to relevance on their team that they kind of lost a few years ago. Dang, I think I'm going to go Shamar Stewart. Like we talked about earlier, a big, tall, long. I like the way he basically busts his butts every single play. He is from whistle to end. He's always awesome. That's the kind of guys that you want. You don't want something that's taking plays off. I love the way this guy moves and the effort that he gives. All right. I haven't done any trades, but I feel like if Ashton Genty's still here, and maybe the Seahawks probably want to go offensive line here in round 1, and there's some decent players, but maybe they want to get a little more value for their pick. We're going to trade down. I'm going to project. Do we want the Vikings going up? Do we think the Vikings and the Chargers go up to get their guy? Let's do. The Vikings have so many holes, especially like CB. I mean, holes. They all have holes. I'm going to go Vikings trade up. Let's just do it. Trade up to Minnesota trades up 24. Oh, I forgot. They don't have any second rounders. They've done a lot of trading up. All right. Who else? Chargers. I said Chargers. 22 and 86 for 18. I'm just gonna send that one. Offer it. Accepted. Chargers are gonna take Ashton Genty, a dominating running back behind a team that has already very good quarterback, one good receiver. Maybe you could argue that you go another receiver instead of going Genty. But I think Genty's it. I think they're gonna grab their like LaDainian Tomlinson-esque. Okay, let's not put him on LT's level yet. Of Ashton Genty. That's just too good a value, man. A top 5 rated talent in the draft, even at a position of lesser importance in recent year. Even though I feel like Saquon Barkley brought it back, man. Saquon Barkley and the cheapness at which he was acquired by Philadelphia versus like a number 2 receiver, and what he did, I think we're gonna see running backs go higher than we kind of project at times. All right, Tampa Bay. I kind of want to ship it with Jahdae or Starks, really. Shoot, man. Yeah, let's just do it. Let's just do Malachi Starks. He didn't have as good of a year this past year, but a couple years ago is where he really dominated. The Denver Broncos, who they could have definitely traded up to get Ashton Genty too. I didn't even think about that. They would have been a good one. Maybe they just sat there and waited because they thought he might have been falling to them. So the Broncos definitely need help. And I think what they're going to do is go ahead and get Colson Loveland, a pass catcher there out of Michigan. He plays tight end, but it's been a big thing during this offseason. It's the Gronks versus the Kelsey types. Colson Loveland is much more towards a Kelsey type than a Gronk type. Now, I am not as big of a Loveland fan as I have seen out there. A lot of people are very high on this guy. And I felt like the tight end spot is depth. There's a lot of depth there, like all the way through. Like Mason Taylor's great. Fannin, even though he set like records at tight end, I feel like he's still underrated. So there's definitely some guys down the board I feel like that are going to be good tight ends in the league. But I feel like we help out Bo. Mr. Nix gets a nice pass catching tight end to help out in that offense. My Pittsburgh Steelers are up. And it doesn't even have it listed here. Most of the Steelers fans I know are talking about defensive interior because we got torn up by the Ravens in the playoffs. So even though we had like a top 5 run defense the whole year, we all remember the last game. We do need a receiver, but sadly, the one that I wanted, Emeka Ibuka's gone, and I don't see it with Golden like a lot of other people do. He did well in the playoffs, don't get me wrong, but I'm still skeptical about him. I don't have him in the first round. They got him 24, ADP 25. He's more of a second rounder to me, but I could be wrong. Everybody's always been around before. So wide receiver, I don't feel like the talent here matches unless somebody runs a crazy combine, runs like 4.2s. Then yeah, okay. Maybe if that's Isaiah Bond, he still sticks low because everybody knows he's fast. But anyways, there's a lot of good options here. Cornerback. Jahdae Barron. I don't want Jahdae Barron, even though he's insanely good at zone, because I want the Steelers to recognize they run man press with Joey Porter, and Joey Porter is terrible in zone. So if you play a zone scheme with Joey Porter, you're basically throwing away that 32 overall pick a couple years back, because he's just like he's average there. So get a guy that plays well in this scheme. So get one of these long guys. And so like say someone like Darian Porter jumps 44 and shit. Like, okay, he's not, but like say he goes crazy, he runs like a 4.2. Then yeah, he's good there. But we'll see what happens with the combine. Ezra Thomas is a great target too. A lot of people have him in a first round grade. I like Siobhan Ravel a lot, but again, the medicals are why he's dropping. Could be a top 15 pick anyways. So we'll see the Steelers there. So for me, I want Kenneth Grant. Give me this generation's Casey Hampton. Give me the defensive interior. Since Cam Hayward's 37 years old, he could be there for only one more year. I don't know. Or maybe he'll play until he's a little Tom Brady. Dude's crazy. I don't know how. He just seems like he's like a fine wine, man. He just got better with age here. But health is always an issue with everybody in the football league, and everybody can be gone after like one play. Like pulling Aaron Rodgers. So that I'm not even discussing quarterback here in the first round. All right, it's not happening. I hope it's not going to happen for the Steelers. Even though when Milrow runs like a 4.3, like, oh, we got to get his traits. We need this generation's Lamar. Which could happen. The Seahawks, they traded down earlier with the Chargers, and they're here to get an offensive lineman. I'm going to give them Gray Zabel to play for them. It says tackle, move him inside the guard, and go crazy, folks. Desperately need to shore up their weakest position. It's not even close. Green Bay, wide receiver. Do you think they do that? For people that don't recall the draft picks already, I'll go slowly down through them. We had a trade at the top where New York went up and grabbed you there. Abdul all the way down here. Dallas got Luther Burden. Shamar Genty with a trade up there. Down to Gray Zabel there in Seattle. All right. Who's going to throw Luther Burden the ball? Dak. Do you not think Dak's a good quarterback? Dak got injured and all of a sudden people forgot about him. Man, does he need to release a chronic 2001? Forgot about Dak? Okay, anyways, let's keep going. This is going too long. The Packers are up next. They've had very disappointing production from their edges, even though they've invested like top 15 draft picks in both of them. Cornerback, they're losing Alexander. Their center was trash. Myers, they drafted him over Creed Humphrey, which everybody laughed at them at the time for, and it showed to be correct laughing. I'm going to chill on the wide receiver in the first round. They never draft wide receivers in the first round. They're good at getting talent later, even though that talent seems to get injured or, they start dropping the ball a lot like Wicks. So Green Bay is definitely going to go either corner or edge, right? And I feel like Jahdae Barron is a great fit for them. I believe they do run a cover 3 type scheme. What was the guy's name from Boston College? Defensive coordinator switched over. Jahdae Barron, ship it. Need health, need fresh young blood. There we go, dude. Weeks 1 to 17, he's amazing. He folds in the playoffs. Maybe one of these times he'll get it together. Even though we don't really love the Dallas coaching situation going forward, but we've been surprised before. The Vikings are up next. I don't mind the Omarion Hampton pick. Dude is a superstar. I'm very skeptical about running backs this year, and I feel like the league still has an end that running backs don't matter, and it feels like it's a perfect storm, right? Do running backs matter? Because if you do, you take these talented guys this high. Best running back class since 2017. When you watch them on film, there's some stars. Especially if you got a dynasty draft coming up. So, if Saquon has really changed the game, running backs start falling. And I feel like once running backs start falling, we're going to get a run of them. Especially if they last into the second round. If these guys start going now, maybe we won't see the run so much. But I really desperately want to get a running back here for Minnesota. I really do. Now that CB, man, so many health questions. So many. I think I'm gonna go corner though. I think I'm really gonna do this. What's left on the interior of the defensive line? Stopping the run. Ooh. There's some bodies here. They're not getting another pick. What if the Vikings trade back? What if the Vikings trade back here? So who would somebody want to trade up for? James Pierce? What if the Vikings trade back? What if like Kansas City likes to trade up? Who's here that'd be great for Kansas City to grab? They could grab a tackle. I mean, I just feel like a lot of this talent is... Shoot. No. What's the trade-up want? Pierce is kind of it if somebody believes in the talent over the personality. Wait, Jalen Walker's still on the board. How did I forget about him? PFF has him rated way too low. Jalen Walker's getting traded up for. Who's doing it? Washington? Detroit. Detroit's definitely trading up for an edge. Yes, that's the match. No, let's not do it in division. I know they've traded before in division. Let's do it. We're trading in division. 28 and I feel like 60 is an overpay. So let's do 24 and 97 for 28 and 60. That doesn't really help out Minnesota getting more picks, does it? 194. I don't know what the math is on that. We're just going to roll with it. Trade not accepted. How dare you? All right, Detroit is coming up here. All right. Walker would have been gone by now, but let's say he slips because PFF has an overarching a feel on the market. Okay, so next up, Houston. Houston desperately needs a wide receiver. I don't know what people see in Golden. I don't know. I think it's the interior offensive line. We're going to go Calvin Banks here to Houston to help out that. Move him inside, see what he can do. Could play my tackle too. Played okay for Texas this past year. Next up, the Rams. I like their D-line. I'm not going to go there. Tight end could go offensive line for that position. That's Connerly. Connerly's a great choice at tackle. It does feel like they go CB. Let's go with somebody big and long like Benjamin Morrison at CB out of Notre Dame to the Rams. I feel like the Rams might go CB in round one. All right. They're losing Cup. Yeah, but they got like, okay. I'm probably dumb for this, but like, man, they got Whittington. I might be in serious cope right there, but they got a guy we saw has talent until he got like injured. But maybe he's nothing, and maybe they go grab somebody else. I think there's some okay receivers later on in the draft. I really like guys like Jack Betch, but I don't know if they'll get a chance at getting him. Maybe they needed to take him right there. Ravens up. Ravens are always best talent available. James Pierce. I know they prefer power edges. They're going to go best talent available. Number one on the board. Just book number one on the board to the Ravens and then just move on with your life. That's how they've built themselves. And that's how I think they'll continue to do themselves. Highest Madden rating, right? That was kind of cool when they revealed that they have a Madden rating. It feeds into one of their like 90 inputs on players. All right, Vikings up. Vikings traded down because they needed extra picks. I think I'm going to go... I think I'm going to go with CB here. I really want to go... I think Omari and Hampton makes a ton of sense, though. Omari and Hampton to Minnesota. Ship it. Give him a running back. That one might have been a stretch. I'm sorry, Viking fans, if you hated it, dude. Washington. I missed the Broncos picks. You got Colson Loveland. Washington, you're up. Commanders need help at wide receiver. Offensive line. Edge, CB. D-line's okay. I would even say halfbacks in the mix too. I think maybe not the first pick for what halfback, but I kind of want to go. I want to kind of help out Daniels here. Let me look at the receivers. So many guys that I like. I'm just gonna believe everybody else, right? I'm gonna believe in the wisdom of the crowd. Even though I don't see it with Golden. Go ahead. I know this is my mock, but when your opinion differs this much from the market's opinion, oftentimes the market's just right. Right? Because like when you see GMs reaching for players they're more knowledgeable for, they like work for the Raiders and then they get like proven wrong years later when they just bust out. And then they get sacked and all of a sudden they're back on TV being draft analysts. Buffalo, wide receiver, defensive interior, linebacker, CB. I am going to go with defensive interior. Is Alexander going to have a great combine? Let's go with Derek Harmon. Harmon's not like a nose, but they do need help stopping the run. They got kind of beat up with that, especially if you're going to go against teams that want to run the ball out like KC and Baltimore now. Because, like, Mahomes is just a check down artist. Let's go with the number one interior for Buffalo. Ship it. Kansas City's up. Kansas City, they're really bad at drafting tackles. Stay away from it, man. Stay away. I kind of want to go D-line again, man. Their defense is great. Pick at 63 to try and get more receiver talent. I kind of want to get somebody to help out, though. Somebody to help out, but man, these guys are rated so low. I think with Rashee Rice coming back next year, maybe like we're fine. We'll take a step forward with Xavier and Rice and stuff, and like maybe get a guy later. So let's go with defensive line again. The Chris Jones replacement. Knock on wood if you're with me. Bill's gonna trade with the Chiefs again. I'm gonna go. I'm just giving him number one on the board. Scorton out of A&M. Yeah, just give him best talent available there. Help out the defensive line. Get more sacks there. I like a good defense. I know they're losing linebacker, but like I don't feel like it's maybe a little early for that. I don't know. Eagles, at least at the talent available, you got Demetrius Knight mocked up here. Where's there's Carson there at rank 52. They could have. I don't know. I'm fine with Leo Chanel next year if I'm the Chiefs. Just rolling with him. Eagles. Ezeraku feels like an Eagle. Build the trenches, man. Build the trenches. Let's take a look at the rest of the trenches. Landon, Umanyalan, Tumalu, Sawyer. Sawyer's really fallen down a draft board since the playoffs where he was like, everybody's going crazy for him. Yeah, Edge is so combine related, but I think Ezeraku's the best of the bunch, man. He productive too, man. He had 14 sacks this past season. I like Ezeraku. He looks like he's got a decent amount of moves in the cupboard. The Browns are back up. The Browns in round one took Abdul Carter. We didn't project the Myles Garrett trade as I'm not sure their cap can handle it. They could do it, but I don't think they want to trade him. And so they're trying to convince him. Man. Who was the shoot. Browns fans, what was the name of the tackle that you drafted in the 4th round a couple years back? Was that Ohio State? Really big, really talented, but frequently injured, which is a problem. DeJuan Jones. Yeah, DeJuan Jones. Thank you. Do you believe he can stay healthy for a year? No. Browns might trade this pick. They definitely could. The thing about the 33rd pick is every year you hear about the insane amount of trades that can happen with this pick, but almost every single time, because after day one, people need things to talk about. the team just sits here and picks. So, man, add to your secondary across from Ward. Browns. Ooh. Bro, an upside quarterback is such an interesting solution here for the Browns. Do you think the Browns would actually go quarterback in round 2? Like, I'm hearing a ton of love for I'm gonna say his name wrong. I don't even. I'll just say Tyler, because it doesn't sound. It doesn't. You don't say it like it said. Schlock, Schlotch, a Schlotchki. I don't think so. I wonder if the Browns think they can develop a quarterback, because Milroe is by far the best upside quarterback in the draft. I don't mind that, right? Like, if you're the Browns, you need to take risks. Calculated risks. And I think that's okay. Shuck. It's Shuck. Shuck. I gotta remember that. I keep messing that up. Shuck. All right. The Giants. The Giants did take it. They traded up. They traded up with the Browns to take Shadur. So they got quarterback done. I think at this point, I kind of want to go another receiver to help out, but offensive line's a great idea too. Depending on what they do in free agency, to get another superstar across from, or maybe number 2 across from the superstar neighbors, Jack Betch is a great idea. Let's do it, man. Yes, do it. All right, Betch. They don't truly need it. They're gonna do it. Titans up next. In round 1, we went Cam Ward at 1-1. So in round 2, we gotta solve a right tackle problem. Connerly, you're up. I swear to you, we need it badly. Jacksonville. Jacksonville's up. Round 1, they got a receiver. Round 2, we're going, ooh. Give me the best interior offensive line, Booker. Booker might go before this in the draft. Best interior offensive line for them. Basically, everything you want to help out your offense. So you can see if Lawrence is that dude, or else next year you need to recalibrate. We have the Raiders, who went Mason Graham to make their defensive line like a prime reason they win. This side, they need talent without a doubt. This time, let's go on offense. I don't like A.O. Manor as much as people do. I think Restrepo, maybe. I don't know if I'm gonna fit him there. Like, this feels like this is a year you're rebuilding, and next year you're gonna get your quarterback. Who's the best talent here to rebuild yourself? I think I'm gonna go corner. Trey Amos. Pats round 1 went Travis Hunter. Give me offensive lineman or give me talent. Ursery. I'm going to go Donovan Jackson. He did a very great job shifting from guard to tackle for Ohio State down the stretch after Simmons got hurt. So Donovan Jackson. That's a god tier draft for Patriots so far. Chicago. Will Campbell. They took him in round 1. Caleb Johnson. I like that. I'm pretty sure they're ditching Swift. I'm going to go Caleb Johnson. Travion Henderson, actually, Travion over Caleb for this system. Travion can be their version of Gibbs. I'm going to do it. Travion Henderson, their version of Gibbs. Saints, wide receiver. We went Tyler Warren, round 1 for the Saints. Defensive line, Darius Alexander. Ship it. Love it. Help out the interior. The Chicago Bears, once again, on the board. Your picks already. Will Campbell, who's probably sliding the guard. Travion Henderson, to get an explosive playmaker out the backfield. Give me... Who's all left on the edge? Landon, Princely, Sawyer. I'm gonna go Jack Sawyer. Jack Sawyer to the Bears there at 41. All right, Jets, Will Johnson. CB, round 1. Do we want to do round 2 quarterbacks are like the dead zone? It really is. I feel like outside of like the few like Breeze, Dax of the world, many of the round 2 quarterbacks miss. But you know what? The Jets don't care about history. Okay? They're off meta. We're doing it just like the Browns did at 33 with a high risk, high reward. I think the guy the Jets want, we're going to go Jackson Dart. Even though Shuck's getting a lot of upward momentum, Jackson Dart to the Jets. Man, New York's going to hate that. I'm sorry, New York. Oh, I can already see Jets fans booing that one if it was still at Radio City. San Francisco. You went Josh Simmons in the first. You're going to go corner here. I think Porter runs better and is healthy. We saw him at the Senior Bowl. He put like the fastest on-field time. We're going to go Darian Porter. Nice long cornerback for you. The Cowboys took a playmaker in round 1. We're going to go ahead and get the Cowboys Caleb Johnson in round 2. You're 100% tripling down. I could definitely see Ursary to move him to guard. Move him to guard to help out and replace your Hall of Famer, like we talked about in round 1. But you know what? We're going big sexy. Caleb Johnson, a downhill runner. Once he gets to the second level, he's gone, man. He's huge and fast. The Colts, Shrades, our resident Colts fan, says Watts or Ravel for the Colts. Xavier Watts, I love it. Give him a safety. Heck yeah. That gives you 2 decent safeties back there. The Falcons, you're up next. Wide receiver, edge, linebacker, CB. We gave you an edge. I am... Jihad Campbell, off-ball linebacker? I love it. I love it. We'll see what his stock looks like after the combine. Pimp out your front 7, please. I know you got a corner, great safety, and Bates. Get your front right. Cardinals, you went Walter Nolan in the first round. Who's here in the second round? Cameron Williams, he fell off pretty hard. I'm going to go Wyatt Millum for you to help out on the offensive line to protect Kyler here at 47. The Dolphins, you went Membao. I almost kind of want to double down, dude. Like, just fix it all. Just take them all, man. I don't care. You need to help it. You need talent on the offensive line. Do the whole draft of offensive line. All right, next on the list here is the Bengals. The Bengals took the first round Shamar Stewart to basically be a great flexible, all around the D-line, 6'6", 290. I sang his praise in the first round. Really like him in this draft. So, secondly, I kind of want to go offensive line. I'm going to project they keep their receiver core kind of intact. So, they got a solid one. A great one, all-time one, and then I guess an all-time 2 there. So we won't go wide receiver there. I kind of want to go back to the offensive line. We'll look both offensive tackle, combine it with interior. See what we got. Cameron Williams, man, people were kind of high on him, but he sunk a little bit near the end of the year a little bit. I kind of want to, man, I feel like maybe you can take some of these guys a little bit later on. But if you want Cameron Williams, you got to get him now. Jonas Savania is an interesting choice also. Obviously, like we've mentioned, the combine, which once we see numbers on these guys, some of them will surely go up, some of them will go down. That's just how it works. But overall, man, they already got a guy on the D-line. Would I want to go 2 guys? It looks like super stacked here with a lot of defensive line. Would they go Scattaboo to be like a number 2 back along with Chase? I doubt it. Edge, D-line, fireman. Wow, there's a lot of talent here. I'm gonna go ahead and maybe I will go offensive line at this point, and let's just take the number one on the board, right? Number one with a gun, Cameron Williams. To probably move to guard to be more of a power, because like we've seen a lot of teams have switched to, like, those 6'6" guards lately, and just like they've played pretty well. We saw a Super Bowl champion play with one. The Seahawks up next, who went Gray Zabel offensive line in the first. They desperately need help there. It might be worth a double dip, but there's not a lot of talent there versus what we see here. Linebacker, the 33rd ranked guy, Demetrius Knight. They could go to corner, but I don't mind their cornerbacks right now. I kind of like the defensive interior for them to grab a defensive lineman. Oh, yeah. I think Princely might be my move. Him or Landon. Let's do Princely to the Seahawks right there in round 2. The Bucks, who chose Malachi Starks at safety round 1. Let's go ahead and go Demetrius Knight to maybe get yourself another 15-year linebacker. Probably won't happen like that, but Demetrius Knight there for the Bucks to help out their defense going deep into that. Now, the Broncos, they went Colson Loveland, yes, since I remember round 1, their tight end. Wide receiver, I'm going to be like, we'll chill on wide receiver this round, try and help maybe more of the defense. Linebacker and safety is what it says it needs, but I feel like the best talent left right now is on the defensive line. So we're going to kind of dip there because a deep, good rotating, strong defensive line is what wins you games at the highest level here. So Tyreek is like a pure nose. Bullrush McIntyre here and TJ Sanders. Might be what Shamar. Oh, dude. JT is such a good gamer. That guy is such an amazing football player. I love watching him play. Dude, there is so much depth here. Let's do Bull Rush. TJ Sanders. Get another interior threat. Even though you got a one insane one already. We in Allen there. But next up, my Steelers. We went with Kenneth Grant in the first round. Round 2. I think receivers are look for them, but I'm going to go with Siobhan Ravel. Now, again, another guy that has fallen in the draft, and this one fell quite a bit because of the injury. We don't know how well. I really haven't heard much on the knee, if he's going to be ready even for the season. He tore that, but they're going to go ahead and bank on the upside. Take Siobhan in round 2. We're on to the Bolts from Ashton Genty in round 1, who they traded up for. Round 2... you kind of want to look to the because the talent of the draft right now is the D-line. That's probably where we'll go, but I don't hate taking a look at and grabbing another receiver. Maybe a Jaden Higgins type, because if they let it go till remaining picks, so this is their last pick. They don't have a pick in the 3rd round because of the trade up. So I kind of want to... Man, I really want... I don't mind a trade here if you want to trade down and pick up another pick later on. But they'll have a 4th round pick. We just lost our 3rd round pick in the trade up. They'll have... I think they already have... right? Wasn't it a pick swap? If memory serves correctly. I think I'm going to go defensive line. As much as they desperately need a receiver, there's some pretty good talent that'll be there in the 3rd round for him. But like right now, where the strength of this draft is, it's D-line. We're going to go JT... Tuimalau. I kind of screwed up his name. But anyways, the other end from Ohio State, that guy's going to have a good career. I'd be surprised if he's a bust. Green Bay, 1st rounder was Jahdae Barron helping out corner to replace Jair, who's probably gone. Is Eric Stokes going to come back and play well? You have some decent safety play, Xavier McKinney and that rookie this year. Very generic name. Evan Williams, right? The whiskey guy. Is that Evan Williams? Definitely sounds like a Tennessee whiskey. That's like a off-brand Jack Daniels. We're gonna go Green Bay. This is kind of their spot for receiver, but I think what we're gonna look to, they desperately need a center. I'm not sure. Again, combine testing will know. I'm not sure it's worth it at this point to stretch for that position. So, after going CB, I think they need someone to help stop the run. They've been really bad against the run in recent years. Tyreek Williams is a pure nose, and I think that's what they're going to do. Alfred Collins, when he wants to play, he's a dominant force. Let's go Tyreek, a true gap stopper for Green Bay. So that'd be really nice inside to help replace. I mean, Kenny Clark is fine now, kind of on the downside it feels like, and he was never really a true nose in my opinion. Buffalo, who went Derek Harmon to help the run defense in round 1. Round 2, what kind of receiving help do they have? Do we want to go receiver for Buffalo in round 2? Let me think of their talents right now. I mean, they're going to lose Cooper, but they didn't really use Cooper anyways. Kincaid should be healthy next year. The continued growth of Keon. And then you have, Shakir too. I could see some more talent being needed to add to that squad. But I almost want to get more defense at this point still. So, for you, let's go with a linebacker. Carson, he's been flying up mock draft boards quite a while. Some people have him higher than where he's going to go in this draft right here. I don't mind taking him right here. Let me look at who's available at CB for y'all. Maxwell, Azariah is a good choice too. I actually might go Azariah. Let's do Azariah Thomas here at pick 56 for you. A good long, lengthy style corner, press man type deal. He does a pretty solid job at that. So we got Houston, who picked Kelvin Banks in the first to help the offensive line. I don't mind going receiver here. Man, the PFF really loves Ellick. And I'm going to go ahead and defer. This is another one I'll defer to them. I'm a little bit lower on him than other people, than this rank right here. He's actually gone down in rankings. He started like the 20s. Now he's in the 30s, it looks like, on their big board. He's gone down a bit. This would not be a bad spot if you can go like Higgins, Royals. I like Restrepo, but Restrepo's not a bad idea. They already have like Big Nico out there, and Tank Dell's the smaller guy. He's going to be missing next year too, more than likely. Going with a true... I mean, Bond would be like a straight, I wouldn't say one-to-one replacement of Tank Dell. Tez Johnson's even smaller than Tank Dell. I don't mind those choices to go wide receiver for you next year. Man, defensive interior is kind of sexy this spot for it. I think I'm going to go wide receiver. I think we're going to stretch down and grab our Tank Dell 2.0 and Tez Johnson. Or do we want another big outside guy? Who would Houston want? Let's go with the Tank Dell replacement. So we'll have 2 Tank Dells in 2 years. But we'll see if Tank Dell can recover from his stuff. We wish him all the best. Panthers, they went Emeka Ibuka. My crush, my love. Okay, let's not go too far, Fox. In round 1 at pick 8. Okay, I got a little aggressive. That might be some of the highest Emeka Ibuka picking that you'll see out there. So, Carolina. We definitely want to go defensive line here. I don't think with the talent on the board, I think that's where we're going. Farmer's really neat. Omar Norman. Yeah, let's go Omar Norman a lot. He probably will fly up after the draft. Any other choices we want to see here? Yeah, I'm going to stick with Omar Norman lot. Yeah, like Tennessee was really weird. They had like hockey lines on the defensive line. So like he didn't get a lot of reps this year, but when he was on the field, he looked really good. You always look for the explosiveness at the D-line. The guys that go make you go, wow, and he did that. So he has that explosiveness. Next level, he could really, like, even though he doesn't have a ton of production, 5 sacks each of the last couple years, he just didn't get a lot of reps, man. 225 reps the whole season. Man, some people get that in like 4 games. So, Baltimore. Like I said, Baltimore always just draft them the highest rated guy. Ship it, clip it, it's Ellick. Give him a receiver. And it lines up perfectly with their needs, too. Number 1, just give him the best prospect. That's how they draft, and it's been very successful for him. Minnesota Vikings. You in round 1 went Omari and Hampton. I think I want to go corner for you here in round 2. If I see anything interesting. Man, did all my favorite corners get drafted already? No, there's some good guys, but a lot of these guys might be here a little bit later. All right, let's shift on that. Let's go to a run-stopping interior. Oof. Okay, I kind of like that. help out because you got good edges, man. You got so many good edges. You barely played your rookie last year. I'm gonna do that. I'm actually gonna give you another run stopper. I think it's gonna be Alfred, but I feel like does Shamar Turner feel like a Viking? No, neither of these guys really feel like Viking. I don't know why I feel like there's a feeling that I'm getting for their team. Who of these feels like a Viking? Dude, I don't know. Minnesota, check in. Let's get our vibes right. Landon Jackson. I just said they didn't need an edge. I might go Carson. Trapio. Will they go Ozzy? Ozzy, oi, oi, oi. Kennard feels like a Viking. But again, I'm looking at Vikings, I'm seeing edges. Let's go with, wait, you know who would be crazy? Oh, Eamon Warry should have been drafted by now. All right, Eamon Warry's going here. He should have been drafted like 30 picks ago. That's my bad. PFF hasn't updated the board. I just kind of forgot over him. Yeah, he should have been gone a while ago, I feel like. But you never know. People do slide on draft day. He's our slide because PFF, I'm not going to blame them. That's my fault. Matthew Golden in round 1, so they got a wide receiver. Now they got, let's go defensive side of the ball. Looks like, that's what they say the needs are, and that's kind of what my opinion of what they have left to need. So best talent available, Landon Jackson? Send it. Landon Jackson it is. Buffalo went Derek Harmon and Azariah Thomas so far. D-line, CB, give me... I like both their running backs, even though one's demanding $15 million. Oh, I guess 3. One's demanding $50 million a year, so I don't think we're going to go ahead and... I don't think we're going to replace him. Yeah, send it, dude. All 3 levels. Bills went full defense for the next season run. I don't know. Is Allen going to get angry he didn't get any more help on offense? I don't mind their offensive line. Maybe you could always get more offensive linemen. I'll say that. There's always money in the banana stand and offensive linemen needed in the NFL. But shore up the defense. Give us the next generation of I don't know, back to back. But maybe you'll win one of these. Kansas City, round 1. Nick Scorton, edge. Round 2. I know I already insulted your ability to draft tackles. I think I'm going to go, it's halfback. 100% running back in this situation. For Kansas City, I kind of like Quinshon Judkins. Yeah, we'll go Judkins for Kansas City here. You know what? Maybe Henderson's more their style, but like Ohio State, they put out some pretty good players here in this this draft. A lot of studs up and down. Quinshon Judkins, you guys remember NCAA on pre-patch with his platinum spin? Yeah, they definitely need help there. I don't know. I'm a little bit lower on Pacheco, I guess. To be fair, coming back from that injury, we all kind of should have expected him not to look as explosive as it is. All right, so Ezeraku in round 1, pick 32. I'm just gonna project they're gonna bring back Bond, and let others go. I guess Milton is probably gone here. He'll probably demand a lot of money. We could go back to the interior defensive. CB, do they really need another CB? Is Slay not gonna be back? Wide receiver. I just gotta go best talent available. I mean, it would totally be like Philadelphia to go edge and then like another rotational defensive tackle, right? Do we really want to go wide receiver with Restrepo? The problem with Philadelphia, it's so hard to draft for them because they seemingly have so few needs. I think we're gonna go O-line. I think that's what we're gonna try and look to. Offensive tackles, inside offensive linemen, add them on top. Tate Ratledge. Ooh. Yeah, let's do Tate. Let's get a big bulldozer from Georgia. They do love them Georgia boys. 6'6", 320. All right, Browns are back up. They were able to, because they traded down in round 1, They were able to pick up the first pick of round 3. So now they have 2 picks in the next 3 picks due to the trade down for New York with the quarterback. So that means to add on to Abdul Carter and Jalen Milroe, they are going to go ahead and add talent at some decent spots. Now, do you believe in Jerry Jeudy and Tillman? I kind of want more, if I'm in them, talent at that spot. Your picks were Abdul, Jalen. I definitely, we were thinking about getting a tackle too. Yeah, I don't mind a tackle here, and then our next pick will be wide receiver. So let's go Jonas Savainia right here out of Arizona. Get that position taken care of. Kansas City gets another spot right here. Their trade with Tennessee. I believe this is the cornerback Snead pick. So Tennessee to Kansas City. Kansas City then is going to go ahead and purchase 1 share of. I kind of want a downfield burner, like a downfield stretcher. They've already got an Isaiah Bond type. Trey Harris there would be crazy. Are we taking Trey Harris? I feel like I want Trey Harris, like a big downfield George Pickens-esque threat. Trey Harris to Kansas City, ship it. He doesn't feel like a Kansas City player, but we're gonna send it. Cleveland. I said I was gonna go receiver. They just lost 1 opportunity receiver, but I think there's plenty of guys here. I like the big bodies. I kind of want Higgins, although does Royals feel more like a Brown? Savion Williams? I feel like Savion is nice if you trust your offense coordinator's ability to get the ball into his hands. This guy, you know how we always said earlier, oh, there's a Debo clone every year? Savion's it. Now, is Savion more Debo or Laviska Shenault? That's the big question. As a lot of people are like, that's a Laviska Shenault. That's a Johnson right there. What do I feel like Cleveland would like more? Let me look at the rest of this. They do need running back, too. Dylan Sampson or Devin Neal feels kind of Cleveland type pick. I don't know. I actually kind of feel like I'm gonna wait one more round on Cleveland's. They got 94. We'll take a look at running back at that spot. So this spot I definitely want a receiver. And I think because I'm getting a mobile quarterback, I'm gonna go Savion Williams right here out of TCU at wide receiver. So that way, like, you're much better off running, like, as in the Madden community calls, Mickey Mouse offenses, because you got a receiver that you're running like a fake jet sweep option, throw, screen, bubbles, either that or just straight wide receiver screens, some angle route screens, some Statue of Liberty, like all the nonsense you can. And just having guys that are great with the ball that don't necessarily like don't need it down the field, aren't like the Jerry Jeudy types, the more traditional receivers. So he kind of like, if you're going to take Savion, you need to know that this is how you got to fix your offense up, right? You got to get the orbit motions and into his hand to make him make players miss. All right. The Raiders up next. The Raiders went with Mason Grant and Trey Amos to help their defense. That's a pretty good pick right away. So we're running it back with Aaron Rodgers or Russell Wilson at quarterback, we'll say. Maybe they decided to go with Aiden. I really kind of want to go running back here. I do, man. I think that's a good position to grab. In a deep running back class, Dylan Sampson feels like a Raider. That definitely feels like a Raider team. The guy. Speed. I mean, Tennessee's got that for days, right? Back-to-back speed guys, explosive athletes. Dylan Sampson, 258 attempts for 1,400 yards, 5.8 average, 22 touchdowns last year. Out the backfield also for 20 receptions. Dang, Dylan. That's a pretty good draft for the Raiders so far. Here we are, round 3 pick for the Patriots, who went Hunter Donovan Jackson. And in round 3, I want more help for my quarterback. I don't feel like Xavier Restrepo fits them because I feel like they got guys kind of like Xavier. I want like a big-bodied Higgins. Yes, give me Higgins. I want a guy. I want a true X to get down the field, stretch it, make defenses play. Now Higgins, I think he's like a 52%. Oh no, so 58% contested rate, which is pretty darn good. High receiving grade, yards per route run. Really like this Higgins pick for them. That looks like a pretty good draft so far, filling out a lot of needs and with really talented players. Jacksonville, Tet and Booker. That's a good draft too. We're getting some studs, man. I don't know. This draft was bemoaned a little bit because of how bad the quarterbacks are, but this draft is better than a lot of people were saying. Tet and Tyler. You could go back to the well of the interior. I'm going to go to defense, though. I think I want to be able to stop the run in Jacksonville. When we were Saxonville, I say we, the royal we, you had a good defensive front. And then you obviously had Jalen Ramsey and friends and back. Now, you don't really have Jalen Ramsey anymore. We can go ahead and look at what kind of corners are out here. I like Kobe Bryant if you believe in his competitiveness over... They got him at 6'1". Oh, I didn't realize he was 6'1". I thought he was short as that. Are you sure he's 6'1"? I think he was smaller, but... Anyways, well, I screwed that up. Weird. I still think you want to go defensive interior. Now, I like Alfred Collins better than Shamar Turner. I'm going to take Alfred and go with mine over... Like, I would say consensus is probably better than me. Because, like, that's like, you know... Like hedge funds don't beat the market, but sometimes there's some hedge funds that do. Alfred Collins, give you a good, and like when he turns it on, he's on. Run stuffer, and he's got a little juice. Not the most juiced, but he's got a little juice there against the pass also. The Saints went with Warren and Alexander. Tight end, interior defensive lineman. We got Restrepo. Would we do Restrepo right here at 71? I don't know. I kind of feel like Restrepo falls. Scattaboo to back up is a good one. I feel like Shamar Turner does seem like a Saint. Am I wrong? Would I go like Shamar? Like Darius is more of a like an interior, like middle of the defense, 310-pounder. Like go like A gap, B gap. Shamar Turner. A little bit more on the outside, like a 5-tech type deal. I probably wouldn't draft Shamar Turner right here, personally. Would we? Dude, I don't know. Do you guys think Spencer Rattler is like, they're fine with him? Or is here a good spot to go ahead and draft another Shook? Would I go Shook because he's flying up boards? Because, I mean, we kind of know Carr ain't it. I don't know. If I'm the Saints, I feel like I try next year for a different quarterback. So I think I'll roll with Spencer Rattler one more year. Carr, if he stays healthy. So that means I think we're going to go. Man, who do you think they'd like? Do you think New Orleans would like Scattaboo? Is he a fit for the new offense? I'm having trouble, man. I really am. What about wide receivers? I think I'm going to do Jalen Royals. I think I'm going to do Jalen Royals to help out your quarterback situation because you still have a running back. And I still think there's going to be running back talent there later on a different pick. All right, Chicago. Chicago went Campbell, Henderson, Sawyer. Ooh, they went pretty Ohio State, huh? Campbell, Henderson, Jack Sawyer. I like that. Wow. Let's go ahead. Let's take defensive line. Edge is a good idea too. Farmer Interior or Kyle Kennard on the edge? The thing with Kennard is that he looks like he's got, I don't know. Do you know what it is? It's harder to find what it is. Kennard's got that it look. But you hate those like looks like Tarzan plays like Jane guys. I don't think he does that. I mean, 10 sacks he produced. It feels like I wanted a little bit more out of him this year, but I feel like Kennard is a very interesting guy. Ooh, I like Jordan Phillips too for them. Oh, dude. Elijah Arroyo. Would we go Arroyo? Or do we want to go with No. I wouldn't go with the second edge. Now you have already had two good edges. I wouldn't do that again. I think the guy I want though, Elijah Arroyo. Give me another absolutely stud producer on offense for Caleb and friends. Yeah, I mean, you're probably going to lose Keenan Allen, right? So then you still have two stud receivers, now a stud tight end. You got your quarterback. You got offensive line help. You got your running back. That's a good draft for the Bears. Wow. Chicagoland would be very happy, I feel like, if they got that draft. New York Jets traded it to the Las Vegas Raiders, who went Graham, Amos, Sampson. I think I'm going to dip back and look more towards, Xavier Restrepo. Why can't I recall, oh man, who was that receiver a couple years ago that Restrepo's basically a clone of? I don't remember. Let's go Restrepo. Let's take a pure route run over the middle of the field. Let's run him. Yeah, Restrepo. Let me look at the other receivers left. Isaiah Bonds is a field. He was much better before his ankle injury. I think Isaiah Bond might be. I might try the potential of Isaiah Bond. Restrepo is such a solid, good route runner that gets open against zone. Do they have his grade versus man? Where's his grade versus zone? I don't know what it is, but yards per route run, 2.47. That's good enough. Isaiah Bond, not nearly as good. I think. Upside or floor is kind of what we're looking at here for the Raiders. Noel is like both. I love Torrey Holton, Pat Bryant. This is a tough one. I think I'm going to go, let's give him Restrepo. Let's give him the sure hands over the middle of the field. Although I don't know if I don't know if I like that because like they didn't invest in their quarterback position. But you know what? They'll have him next year too whenever they take the quarterback or whoever they bring in. Carolina. Emeka Ibuka, Omar Norman Lott. I like both those names. Wide receiver, defensive line. And now I might go defensive line again. Double dip there. Jared Ivey out of Mississippi. Birch. Let me look at the rest of the positions. Is there anybody that I like down the board? I like a lot of these guys in here. Now we're getting a little bit lower than say value would say. Caldwell's a pure nose. Norman Lott. I think I'm going to go edge here. Man, what's my tight end situation? I'm going to go Gunnar. Defensive line. I kind of want a tight end, but I kind of want to see what Jatavian becomes. So I wouldn't think I'd go a running back this high again. I'm going to go Jared Ivey here out of Mississippi. Help out your defensive line some more. I kind of wanted to help the offense a little bit, but like every time I ran into it, I'm like, Carolina, you still got yourself a solid running back piece. And even though you got Brooks injured for a whole year, I don't think I'd reinvest into that spot right now in the draft. So grab Jared Ivey and just hope and pray your pass rush, your run stopping, all of it gets better now that you're healthier this next year, and you just drafted 2 defensive linemen. So that should definitely 100% help out. Hopefully you guys can stay healthy. That's been a lot of your problem over the last few years. San Francisco, talk about unhealthy over the last few years. Simmons and Darian Porter are your 2 choices. Tackle, CB. I think I want to go someone like, I want to go like Joshua Farmer right here. Take top guy on the board. Even though maybe, Shamar Turner's higher. I'm like okay with Shamar Turner. So we'll draft them in there to San Francisco. We have the Cowboys, who were able to draft Luther Burden, Caleb Johnson, knocked out their 2 spots there. I still want to hit the offensive line, but your defensive line needs help. I don't know. Do you guys believe in Mazzy? I'm not sure I do. Interior offensive line. Maybe we'll look a little bit deeper into the draft, a little bit of that. What about tackle? Trapeo. Ooh. Or defensive interior. I think you got to stop the run. I'm going to go with defensive interior first. I kind of want to do... Let's do Joshua Farmer out of Florida State. Give you another big body in there. He's maybe... I mean, was he my favorite one left? I guess I'd have to go look, but he was the highest rated left. Deion Walker, the problem with Deion Walker is like it doesn't seem like he cares that much. Which, while he probably has the most talent left, you're kind of playing with a live wire right there. Can you motivate him to actually be a professional? I feel like that's a guy that you like somebody else take that risk. Sure, you can get returns of like Pro Bowl level play, but also he might just be washed out in 2 years because he just can't stick with it. Jordan Phillips, like I said, I really like Jamari Caldwell as a pure nose. CJ West, he showed some good stuff on tape too. So there's still some players left that I like down the board here. No doubt. We talked about Jordan Phillips, but I think Joshua Farmer is a great choice to help stop the run and shore up the interior to let your edges eat. New England, you went with Hunter, Donovan, Jaden. Now pick 77, your last one of the 3-round mock. New England goes with running back. I like that. Scattaboo in New England. Does New England seem like more of a Devin Neal location? RJ Harvey, Giddens, Brashad Smith, Jarkey, Tootin's getting a lot of love. Taj Brooks, little small little bowling ball type guy there. Ollie Gordon has fallen on draft boards because he looked terrible this year, but like last year he was a superstar. Like people were like, yeah, this guy's #1 running back in the nation coming into the season. Then just absolutely like fell down the board. I feel like he's tall. I don't know. I don't like his inability to accelerate at times. But this is not an Ollie Gordon scouting report. This is a New England Patriots. Let's look into the trenches before I go running back. What kind of trenches do we got the ability to grab? We already got one position there. I kind of want to double down. I think I'm going to go Ozzie. I do desperately think they want the running back. I think I'm going to go Ozzie, though. Ozzie, welcome. All right, the Cardinals. Walter Nolan, Wyatt Millum. So they went trenches. W Cardinals. You're the best in the world. Don't ever forget about it. They got a #1. They got a young backup that's going to be in his second year at halfback. Wide receivers, I'm going to be fine with them right now. Tight end, they got one of the best in the league. So let's just take best defensive player right now. Kyle Kennard. Never go wrong with more edges. Give me Kyle Kennard. Help the pass rush because you got to get off the field. One of the worst defenses, in my opinion, in how they played on the D-line this past year. All right, Washington. Golden Landon, wide receiver, edge. Double up? No. Maxwell, Hairston, Dotson. I don't mind. I mean, they made a mistake at corner a couple years ago, and now they're paying for it. Quincy. Still crazy they didn't draft Gonzalez there. There's some decent corners down the board. I think they're going to go with that spot. How are the trenches looking? I think, let's go. I think we do that. Let's go Maxwell Hairston. Lathan Ransom? Let's go Maxwell Hairston for Washington to help shore up their defensive backfield a bit. Man, I kind of wanted to help Jaden a little bit more in this draft, but going with a receiver there early is fine. I mean, they already had a really good offense, but they needed to stop just anything in the playoffs. that was a tough game. All right, the Colts. Mike Green, Xavier Watts. So edge safety. I think tight end, man. Gunnar Helm is getting a lot of love in NFL circles lately. A really smooth player out of Texas. He's actually got pretty low rate. I didn't realize his PFF grade was so low this past year. Looks better on film than he does here statistically. I'll say of these ones remaining, I like Mason Taylor the best. If I were to order it, I go Mason Taylor, Fannin, then Gunnar. I'll choose for my preference, even though the crowd says Gunners above it, but I like Taylor. So we're going to give Taylor to the Colts. That one's for you, Shrades, the worst person I know. Next up, Bengals. They went Shamar Stewart, Cameron Williams. Okay. They went to the trenches, W. I think we're going to do that again. I think we're going edge here. Let me look at the secondary. Casho Winston, okay. Wouldn't mind that, going secondary for him. Jordan Phil. Yeah, let's take an edge. Let's help that a bit. So Josiah Stewart out of Michigan for the Bengals to really help them out. I don't know. Does that feel like how the Bengals are going to draft? They've just ignored those positions. It feels like too long. But they did go Mims last year in the first round. So I'm wrong, man. They went back to it. Seattle, Gray Zabel, Prince of Yellen as your two picks. Fox is going some teams hard into the trenches. Don't need a halfback. Ooh. Linebacker Chris Paul. Winston. A developmental quarterback. Hang on. Nah. Would you? Seattle? Do you think that you'd want to spend a third on a development quarterback? I feel like they might. Let's go Curtis Rourke. No, sorry. Tyler Shook. Let's do it. That might be controversial. Tyler Shook there at 82, backing up Geno. Whatever, it's done. It's in the books. We went with Shook. Sit him for a year, see if Geno still got it. If Geno don't got it, you got to back up. Geno gets hurt, you always need a backup for that too. So, all right, Tampa Bay. They went Malachi Starks into Demetrius Knight. How about on defense? Maybe we'll look back to offense. They got Bucky. They ain't going halfback. Safety, linebacker. Vita Vea. They probably won't go Jordan Phillips. Elijah Roberts. Jordan Birch. Let me look at their edges. Let me look what's here. And we're kind of slim. Savion Jones. I might go him. I might go Savion. Wait, Swinson. Swinson's still here. We're gonna dip down the board and go Braden Swinson to the Bucks. He's getting a lot more love lately. I feel like he's gonna be flying up boards. Just due to like people are now getting more deep into the evaluation period and they're finding the guys maybe that started deeper down the board that are like actually show the talent to be, mid-round picks here. All right. We now have Denver, who went with Loveland and then Bullrush McIntyre. So tight end, defensive interior. They're absolutely Cam Scattaboo. Yes, please. Now I was thinking maybe Scattaboo would fall to my Steelers, but I like it. Broncos getting Scattaboo. He'll be nice for him, man. They need a Scattaboo. You know, Javante's kind of hurt and he's fallen off ever since he got hurt. But I think Scam would be a really nice pick. Or did I say Cam? Cam Scat. All right, the Steelers are up. Kenneth Grant, Siobhan Ravel. Wide receiver would be awesome here. So it's between wide receiver or halfback. So in my opinion, it's between Devin Neal, who would be amazing for Arthur Smith's zone blocking scheme, or I mean, I like so many running backs down the board. Pat. I don't like Bond much. He doesn't like. He'd be like a repeat of Kelvin Austin. We already have that skill set. So, Jalen Noel, Torrey Horton. Torrey might be my dude here. 6'3", 185. I'm gonna go with Devin Neal. I'm gonna go with Devin Neal and then pray someone like Pat Bryant falls to me in the next round. Which the next pick is like in the 115 area, right? 120-ish. I don't know if Pat Bryant falls to them. So this is like the Sophie's Choice. Two guys I truly, really like out there that play. Pat Bryant to be another big outside body for him. Or their running back, Devin Neal. I feel like we need wide receiver much more. Jalen Noel or Pat Bryant. I think I'm going to do Pat Bryant. Pat Bryant out of Illinois to Pittsburgh. That's a pretty good draft, man. I don't mind that. Interior, corner, wide receiver. Even though I do got a man crush on Neal. All right, Seattle, you're up. Gray Sable, Human Yellen, Shook. Whoa, Seattle. Is this the extra? Yeah, this is the extra pick they got from the Chargers trade earlier. Okay. Now here, we'll do... I keep forgetting, sorry. I'm having trouble remembering things. Position. Man, I feel like these tight ends are too talented not to go. I really do. They could use a replacement for Tyler. It's a tough choice, man. I think I want to take another offensive lineman. Would we go on a small school offensive lineman? I mean, why not? Like, right? Let's take a look at interior offensive line. Jared Wilson out of Georgia. 6'3", 310. I think that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to go with another lineman. Right? Just please. Help your QBs, man. They're not going to trade DK, are they? All right, Green Bay, you're up. You went with a CB, a defensive interior, and now this is where you smash wide receiver. This is such a Green Bay pick to get another like number 2. I don't want to do this, man. I don't want to do this to Green Bay Packer fans. I'll get you 5 number 2 receivers. Although some of them have been playing by like number 3s and 4s. Ja'Day Tiley. Isaiah Bond is going to be your short Christian Watson replacement. Thank you, I hate it. You know what? You know what I'm going to do? You're going to play a lot more 2 tight end sets. Harold Fannin Jr. Welcome to Green Bay. I just refuse to believe that he's going to be that bad in the pros, playing that well in college, and he looks good on film. Now, obviously, the competition level ain't great, so that's got to go into the film grade, but Would they actually draft Gunnar Helm? Help out Tucker Kraft? I mean, is Musgrave, is he terrible? Would they draft a tight end here? They have Malik Willis, greatest backup quarterback ever, right? As a backup quarterback, so you probably don't need to draft that position because Jordan Love seems to be injured every year. Running back's definitely set. You got like 3 solid ones with a starter that's really good. Always more linemen. Edge. Savion. Get some depth to your rotation. Yeah, maybe we'll go edge. Although I just feel like I'm going to do Harold Fannin to them. That's probably a mistake, but oh, that's huge edge. I should have gone edge there. Fannin's probably a mistake, but I just don't. I guess I've lost faith in Musgrave. And so been able to go 2 tight end sets, and Harold Fannin is not like an insane inline tight end. He's much more of like split him wide, get mismatches. He just got like glue for hands. So I don't mind helping out your quarterback, get a guy that's going to be able to get open and actually catch the ball. POV or Dontavius Wicks being like, the heck he's saying F me for? Jags, you're up next. They got Tet, Booker, Collins. Okay. All right, Jacksonville. You've had a draft. Jacksonville? I kind of, like, dude, a backup for T-Law, go with, like, Will Howard? I mean, Mac Jones is probably gone, right? Let's go. I actually don't mind that. Because T-Law's hurt all the time. So having somebody that can play when T-Law's down, having a competent backup, and then maybe he just takes his job, even though T-Law's getting paid, like, more than the combined GDP of many countries. No, let's go secondary. Let's take secondary. I really am coming around to that backup quarterback pick, though. Let's go with Kobe Bryant. Although Mello Dotson's rated higher, let's give him Mello. Let's give him Mello Dotson. Let's give him a CB. Help out. All right. Houston. You've got some offensive help. Kelvin Banks, Tez Johnson. And then I really want to look at defense. Let's look at your interior. Deion Walker. Do you think Houston coaching is good enough to get Deion Walker to actually care? Let's go with Jordan Phillips. Let's give them to Houston. Jordan Phillips. Help out the run stuffing type deal. All right, the Rams. They picked Benjamin Morrison. They traded their second round this year for last year's second round, where they took the stud, Braden Fisk, my man crush. So they got a cornerback. Now they could use help at tight end. You're going to take Gunnar Helm. Ship it. Get it. There you go, LA. I don't project them getting any draft picks for Stafford. I project him coming back, but you never know. Things change. James Pierce, Alec Manor, and they're going to take the best guy on the board in a position where they didn't just take a guy. They probably don't need a linebacker. Safety. Ooh. Would you dip back to safety for them? I might. I kind of like offensive line though. Yeah, let's look at the tackle situation. I mean, Rosengarten's playing well. But you do always need depth there. And shoot, what's his name's getting old? Ravens fans, check in. Left tackle. We're gonna go We're gonna go Mbow. Mbow. Tackle Purdue. Mbow. I think is how it's said. There it is. Marcus. Best on the board for Baltimore. That's their calling card. The Jets, Jets. Will Johnson, Jackson Dart. 7-42. They got their projectable quarterback, their projectable cornerback. What are we going to do? I want a run stuffer. Give me... I keep looking at Deion Walker's name like... I'm fine with your edges, man. You've got some highly drafted edges. Let's take the risk. New York's going to go with a high-risk draft. Deion Walker. Come on down. I kind of want to go Caldwell. Walker, come on down. Welcome, New York. All right, the Saints. The Saints went Warren, Darius Alexander, and Royals. Tight end, interior, wide receiver. It's been a pretty solid draft for them so far. I've liked this combo. 2 offensive weapons. Warren to help out both in the run game and pass game. Alexander. I think I'm going to go running back for them. I think the Saints are going to go with Devin Neal to be the wing man for Kamara for the future of that franchise. Cleveland's on the clock. They've done really well. Edge, quarterback, tackle, wide receiver. I think we're going to kind of get onto a running back run right now. This is where all the teams like, okay, hang on. If we want our guy, we're picking now. Let's go with RJ Harvey out of UCF. There's a lot of talent down this board here. Don't get me wrong. RJ Harvey, welcome to Cleveland. We then have Kansas City, who took Scorton, Junkins, Trey Harris, 2 offensive weapons to help out Pat Mahomes become the Pat Mahomes of it that was earlier in his career. I could see any tight end here. I'm not sure I love the value. Although, dude, Iowa tight ends are straight cheat codes. I'm not sure I love it in the 3rd round, maybe more the 4th round pick for some of these guys at the moment here. We did take an edge already in Scorton. Halfback, wide receiver. Wow, I like that halfback, wide receiver combo. KC kind of snapped in the 2nd and 3rd round. That's what happens when you get extra draft picks. You can snap at times. I'm going to go Charles Grant. I think I'm just going to give him a tackle. I'm cool with their defense. I think their offensive just talent needs help across the board. They can no longer play guards out of position. I know it's due to injury, but give me Charles Grant. I think Kansas City just signed a tackle this offseason. The Eagles here. Ezeraku, Tate Ratledge. Keep building in the trenches. Jordan Birch. Will they go 2 edges? 2 edges. Let's hear a wide receiver. Isaiah Bond. Jalen Noel, Horton. Man, I still don't know if I'm going wide receiver if I'm Philly. Tight end. We got a guard. Let's look at the secondary. What about safety? Lathan Ransom? I don't mind Ransom. Winston, Castro. Maybe we'll just take the highest rated safety here. Sanker. I feel like Upton Stout definitely feels like an Eagle. This is a big reach to grab Upton Stout here, so I won't, but he does feel like he's got the attitude. That guy's like a small, like a Honey Badger-esque type of safety. I think he might be even smaller than Honey Badger. Let's do... I said I projected them. They don't like have any other linebackers on the roster. Let's go Chris Paul out of Mississippi here. Linebacker. He's like the number 1 on the board right now. And so we'll go Eagles. Eagles take that position to help shore it up. I think a middle round linebacker is fine for them. They don't draft like linebackers high, it feels like, but it's definitely something they put a little bit of resources into. Detroit went 1 pick with Jalen Walker. Okay, when they traded up to grab him because Jalen Walker fell, and they're like, give us the talent, this insane guy. And so they took care of the edge. I don't mind offensive line. Linebacker. Says it's a need, but I feel like they got needs all over their defense. Except for edge right now. Ooh, I don't mind going corner. Let me see. Yeah, let's go Kobe Bryant at corner. Kobe Bryant, help that out. You got a new edge. You got a new corner. More youth defense, as Aiden Hutchinson says. It don't matter the person calling plays. All that matters is the guys in the locker room. So add a couple more guys in the locker room, and then you can have me calling them plays. Dolphins, thank you. This is the perfect Dolphins draft. Wait, no, I'm going to make it even better. I'm going to make this stuff even better. Just wait. Like, I don't care. Give me more linemen. You're going to get Willie Lampkin. Okay, maybe a center. Jonah Monheim. Like, just please. Seth McLaughlin. Nah, one of them tackles probably going to kick in. I might take Lampkin right here. I actually might do it. I think I'm going to take Willie Lampkin. This is the perfect Miami draft. 2 tackles in the first 2 rounds, a guard in the 3rd round. Don't worry about anything else. You got the playmakers on offense. You got your quarterback when he's healthy. Protect him, please. Okay, so your defense is going to give up points. You're going to score 70 a game. All right, it's just please give me an offensive line. I want to see that system when you got people that can move people in it. All right, we now have the Niners on the clock. Simmons, Porter, Turner. Simmons, Porter, Turner. Tackle, CB, defensive interior. I think another team we want to go back to the offensive line for. You know what? I actually might. Let's go Jordan Birch right here. He slid down the board quite a bit, and so we're going to take him. And the Rams get pick 100, a compensation pick. I don't know who they lost at free agency for this one, but Benjamin Morrison, Gunnar Helm, CB tight end. Let's get some line help again, I think. Although Emory Jones, man, he had a bad year. People thought he was going to be like a first rounder coming off his second year there, man. Yeah, they've done well on defense. Their safeties are all right. Defensive interior is all right. It's all right. Ooh, hang on. I like the quarterback. See if you can pick up a quarterback. Who would be a perfect McVay quarterback? McCord? I feel like it's McCord or Howard for me. Will Howard or Kyle McCord? I mean, is he going to get replaced again? Hang on. Do I go McCord here? Howard had such an easy job at Ohio State behind an amazing offensive line and like the best weapons, maybe like top 3 weapons of all time, top 5. He had a pretty easy job, but they did win. That's a big deal. Are we gonna take the proven winner, the guy that come home in the clutch? Let's do Will Howard. Let's do it. Let's take him. McCord looked really good. Will Howard. There it is. Big, tall, looks the part, is the part. Full results. Here's the draft. Let me know where I screwed up, what I got right, what I got wrong. Did I screw your team? Or did I just give you the greatest draft of all time? Going down through it slowly. Who are some of my favorite picks? Obviously, I like always what the Steelers do. Siobhan Revell, round 2. I feel like there's a ton of great talent. I think somebody had a pretty good saying that like the talent between like 20 and 60 are pretty equal. I feel like even stretching down to like 70, I still had like guys I was absolutely in love with. Mason Taylor at 80. Great choice. I feel like he's going to go higher than that in the actual draft. So, I mean, the running backs that I'm getting in like the 90s here is awesome. Amazing. So, I feel like most years, top 100 has a ton of value in it. And we're going to see that again this year. There's going to be some superstars picked even third, early fourth round. Even later, dude. Even later happens. But there you go. There's Fox's 3-round mock. Roast me.